So when I put this on LinkedIn, right, it did garner a lot of conversation, but a lot of people have very different opinions around what they think EVP is. And this is where we get some of the challenges. And I like to call this out, right? An aspirational tagline does not an EVP make. But if we are thinking about how we build out our EVP, how we build out our employer brand identity, one of the first things we think about, right, is candidate desire. We talk about being authentic, but it's not valuable if it's not what candidates want. One of my favorite examples of this is I was actually at a Budweiser franchise for many years ago, and we spent a lot of money on building a really pretty building, so much so that my understanding was that St. Louis actually called our facility the Taj Mahal to beer. And we built our employees a gym, and then we charged them every pay period to use that gym. Now, we were a distribution center, and these people were mostly throwing beer all day long, kegs and just cases of beer. So they really didn't need to come into work and go to a gym. Right. So we built things for our employees that didn't necessarily align with what our employees needed. So we did things, but it wasn't helpful to their experience. Right. Employer image, attractive isn't good enough if it's not authentic. Right. So we did authentic, but we didn't align to candidate desires. But then you can be an attractive employer, but if you're selling something that is aspirational and not based in truth and reality, then, that's not going to do you any good either, right? So that's where the aspirational values come in. EVPs tend to a lot of times be I see we will language, and we want to, and we aspire to. But if they don't capture your company's actual culture and they're not based in truth and lived experience, then they fall flat. And again, that's what starts to then, you're already building the cracks in the foundation for telling that consistent story throughout all of your candidate and employee touch points. So this is just my Princess Bride contribution for the day. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means, right? But in the last few years, some of the things that I've heard from prospects and from some clients too, right, is leadership wants an EVP, but they mean a tagline. How do I help them understand it's not just a tagline? We need an EVP because we're redesigning the career site. Is that why you need the EVP, right? We need an EVP, but no one knows how to define it or operationalize it internally, so there's no budget or support for it. And then you see the outputs, right? And a tagline with nothing behind it, because tagline one, I have one pager of benefits labeled EVP. I've seen that more than I care to admit. Job family messaging being treated as separate EVPs, or one line of messaging pasted across multiple brands, right? When you've got multiple brands under your purview, you can't just take the same EVP and then just use it as a tagline and splash it across 5 or 6 different brands, because there's clearly no authenticity there, and there's no, you're not anchoring in any kind of differentiator or uniqueness about your company or your brand. So when we think about employer brand, think about it. I don't speak about EVP as a standalone product as much. I talk about it from an employer brand perspective. So I look at your employer brand is not your deliverable, it's your identity, right? It's your articulation of it and your EVP that is an outcome of that discipline, discovery, and storytelling. So at its core, EVP should answer the WIFM, right? The what's in it for me to work here for both employees and job seekers. But if you don't have that defined, that doesn't mean you can't still drive the conversation around your storytelling, because butts and seats don't wait on the perfect marketing and branding. And I think most of us know that, right? So we think about this, that's where recruitment marketing sits, right? It's how that story gets activated externally, and sometimes even before everything is perfect.